There is a new tax-free first home savings account. Wow, that's a mouthful. To help first-time home buyers get into the market that will be effective in this year. And in this episode, here's everything you need to know as a first-time home buyer on how to utilize this, take advantage of this, and what rules to see whether you actually qualify for this. Now, if you are a first-time home buyer and are looking for help on how to navigate the real estate market and how to get into it, because this is actually kind of an opportunity right now. If you can take advantage of this program, you can book a call with me using the link that's on the screen. It's www.chatwithzen.com. Simply click on the date and a time that works best for you. And then when you see the prompt, fill in your name, email, mobile phone number, and a question you have for me, and then we'll chat then. Good day, Toronto. Welcome to another episode of Prime Properties TV. My name is Zen, and I run a RE/MAX brokerage in the Greater Toronto area on top of making awesome educational real estate content just like this one for you. And on this episode, I'm going to be going over a new program for first-time homebuyers that's basically coming into effect this year in 2023. However, I'm going to give you kind of my quick thought on this first. Now, this program, I think is fairly useless in the GTA, okay? To be fair, in the GTA, so Greater Toronto area, as it's a little bit too late and a little bit too slow to accumulate the maximum amount of savings that you would get from this program. There's actually a better opportunity for most first-time home buyers that are looking for a property right now, and you can do and utilize this program, which is a 0% down payment. Yes, there is a 0% down payment for first-time home buyers, and you don't have to use any of your own money right now. And if you want to learn more about this and how some of it could be applying to you and how some of our clients are working on this to kind of get into the market right now as first-time home buyers, you can book a call with me using the link that's on the screen. It's www.chatwithzen.com. But more onto this new program that the government is coming out with. So this new government program is called the Tax-Free First Home Savings Account, or FHSA. It's going to take some time to get used to. And it is coming this year, and it's designed, again, as you can tell by the name, to help get first-time home buyers into the market. And this is very similar to the Home Buyers Plan, or HBP, and put it on the screen somewhere so you don't get confused, where you're utilizing your RRSPs to get into the market. And here's what you need to know about the FHSA. You're eligible if you're 18 years old or older, you haven't owned a property in Canada for the last 4 calendar years, and the lifetime contribution into this FHSA. I'm going to get it, don't worry, I'm going to get it. Yeah, this account is about $40,000 with an annual contribution of $8,000 per year. So what this means is that the first $8,000 is going to be eligible for you to deposit into this FHSA account in 2023 when the accounts are going to be allowed to open at whatever bank you're banking with. I imagine most banks are going to have access to this. Meaning that in 5 years, or by 2028, you're going to be able to accumulate the maximum amount of $40,000 that you can contribute to your first home. So in 5 years. Here's how how the mechanism of this program will actually work, right? So it's kind of like the HBP, RRSP kind of program, right? So when you contribute to that program, it creates a tax deduction for you to effectively kind of reduce your tax burden or the amount of taxes that you owe, right? Because in most cases, you are paying taxes on your T4 before you get your take-home pay. So if you choose to use this program, you can contribute the maximum annual amount of $8,000 this year, thereby giving yourself an $8,000 tax deduction. Now, that's going to confuse a lot of people, so I put this chart together for you. So let's say your income's $100,000. The refund you'll be getting for putting that $8,000 into your FHSA, got it, right? You'll get that back. You'll get back about $2,800 because very likely, like I was saying earlier, you have a T4 income where your employer would have already deducted the taxes that you already owe. This is very likely the case. So this is very, very similar to as if you're contributing to the RRSP. And as you know, the RRSP contribution is due at the end of February. Now note, this whole thing is just for educational purposes, since most people's situation is very different depending on how they get paid, et cetera, et cetera. So this is just to give you an idea of kind of how the numbers would work. If you are looking for something more specific on how this applies to you, again, talk to your financial advisor or book a call with me so we can try to do our best to kind of provide you a little bit more information specific to your case. So now, when it comes to withdrawing for your savings from the FHSA, you still need to be qualified for your first time as a home buyer, right? And upon withdrawal, that still has to qualify, and you're still a person who hasn't bought their home within the 4 years of when you open the account or also of when you're withdrawing the account. So that duration is rather long. Now, if something changes between like when you first open the account and your first deposit, and you are no longer eligible to be, call it a first-time home buyer, all the savings that you would have put towards the FHSA are going to be able to be transferred to your RSP tax-free. So like the RSP, if you remove money from it without qualifying, even FHSA, there are obviously going to be financial consequences. So these are things you have to understand. And the way you withdraw your funds hasn't really been confirmed yet, again, because it's still very new and the government's been really late to put all these things together. But anyways, I digress. But if it's anything like the HPP, it's probably just like a 1 or 2 pager at the bank where you check off a bunch of things and then they move the funds from your RSP into your checkings account. So they may move it from your FHSA into your checking account so then use it for a first-time home buyer, right? And like the RSP, this account, again, remember, is a vehicle to create the tax deduction. The money you put into it is still an account that can be invested to yield you a return. So what you reinvest with it, totally up to you, but just be cautious, okay? Now, here's my perspective on why I think this is probably not a good program, because it doesn't allow you to combine the HBP, the home buyer program, with the FHSA, meaning you can't use both of them at the same time for the same house. See that? You have to effectively choose between one or the other, the HPP or the RSP. Now, the HPP is $35,000. I'll put that over here. And the FHSA is $40,000, but you won't get there until 2028. And this is why I think this program is kind of pointless because of the time frame and how much. And while, yes, you now have another way to reduce your tax and save money for retirement and also save for your first home at the same time. However, by putting the hard-earned money that you're working really hard into the RSP and the FHSA, you can't use your RSP savings towards your first home. So effectively, you're actually saving for your retirement, and now you're foregoing saving for that down payment for your first home. So that's a big blunder on, I guess, the person who made the program's part, right? And if you and your partner are both first-time home buyers, probably similar to HPP. It's not finalized yet, but you're both able to use that program, but you can't contribute to each other's account. But obviously you can just hook each other up and give each other money to put into that account, which is what everyone does with the home buyer plan anyways, so they can get $2 $35,000 deduction, right? And similar to the home buyer's plan, the FHSA, like the TFSA amount, rolls over from year to year. Meaning, if you miss the $8,000 contribution in this year in 2023, you can still contribute $16,000, which is 8 times 2, the following year, and ultimately you accumulate the $40,000 by 2028. Now, there are other like few fine print items that if you want to read, I'll put in a link in the description below because it's a rather long one, as you can imagine. But the kind of usefulness of the program is very specific and in a very specific circumstance. And this very much reminds me of the first-time home buyer incentive plan. Yeah, there's still a lot of these right now where the government kind of takes a percentage ownership of the property you're buying. It's like 5% resale and 10% for pre-construction. So it's so specific that it's not really going to be used much, but it makes it look like they're trying to do something to address the first-time home buyers issue of trying to get in the market and potentially just buying some votes from the millennials. And that's kind of what I would say. Net, I don't think it's going to affect the market too much, but it could be useful for like a very small segment of the market that it does fit in with that person where they don't use the RSP, specifically in GTA. It may be more useful in other regions at different price points. Now, if you are a first-time homebuyer, you should really consider the 0% down payment methodology I was talking about at the beginning of the video about how to get into the market right now, because that program actually works out to be pretty good. And if you do want to learn more about that, just book a call with me and just indicate that's what you want to learn about, and then we can chat about that in the call. Now, if you are looking for some other help on how to navigate the real estate market, same link right here. You can book a call and we can chat then. Until next time, your move, your future. See ya. Now that you're done watching this one, how about this one? Oh, you know what? This one's good too. Ooh, this one's really good. You know what? Just watch them both.